Hi, this is Crystal the Herbalist, and this is video 3 of several that I'm doing on harvesting plants or the field of herbs. And yesterday we talked about gathering plant parts and how to do that. So some of the ones I talked about were aromatics, buds, resins, leaves. And so today we'll just move right along here. The next one I'm going to talk about is oleoresins, and that'll be similar to the gums and resins that I talked about yesterday. Rhizomes are like ginger, valerian, arnica. They'll be similar to roots, which I'm going to talk about next. Roots like comfrey, poke, ginseng, they are, there's different ways you want to gather those. For example, the ones that are annuals or biennials, they usually have limited value, but perennials increase in potency over the years. Now, roots are usually gathered in the early part of spring, and because that's when the plant juices are mostly concentrated. Roots of annuals you want to gather before the flowering season, because afterwards the root becomes less active. Now, seeds or burrs, pits, things like that, for example, almond, pumpkin, burdock, there's three kinds. There's naked heads like fennel and parsley. There's pods like mustard, and there's a couple other ones. Fleshy fruits like melon and cucumber. So the naked heads you want to pluck when the seeds are brown and the stalks are dry looking. You want to lightly thresh the umbels, but not too hard because you don't want to damage or bruise these seeds. The oily seeds need to be gathered every year. Shelf life is not very long, so you want to make sure you're aware of which ones are oily and which ones aren't. Pods. Seeds in pods should be left in the plants until they're fully ripe and mature. And then when you've plucked them, you gently hit them on the ground to dislodge them. Things like borage, calendula, even valerian has little pods. Fleshy fruit, you want to make sure you remove and separate the seeds, like your melon or your pumpkin, things like that, from the surrounding membranes and the wet matter. Sprouts, collect before the buds open. Stalks, gather in the autumn, soon after the flowers decay. So I've got a picture of flax. The stem, herbaceous stems, you want to gather after the leaves appear, but before the blossoms develop. Woody stems, you gather in the autumn after the foliage falls and the leaves decay, and then before vegetation occurs in the spring. Tops, such as broom, tops are gathered when the whole herb are used fresh, with the tops 3 to 4 inches long, but when consumed raw, gather only 1 inch or so. Tubers, bulbs, or corms. Got a picture of what a corm looks like. You want to gather them the same as the roots, but you want to be careful. They can lose potency if you cut into them too deeply, so you want to be careful with those. Twigs, gather soon after the flowers have decayed. And woods, gather in the spring or autumn when active principles are most concentrated, preferably from older trees like the cascara. Resinous woods need to be able to sink in water to be acceptable, so if they're not sinking, you don't want to take them. So that is for gathering plant parts, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully these have been valuable for you. I've actually been learning something through these, so it's been helpful for me. I'm hoping it's valuable for you. Good health to you. See you tomorrow.